This morning here, we're at Michler's Beach here in Jacksonville, Florida, and Keith will be taking the clinic participants through the basics of beginning to run in sand terrain and various different types of terrain, also covering beginnings of mechanics and how they run.
One of the things we're going to work on today is being able to adapt your stride to a sandy surface. And we're not going to just do it right here. I'm going to show you on where it's very uneven here and how I would handle this. And then what we're going to do is I want to watch everybody run, 50 to 100 meters or so, and I want to see what you look like and how you handle it. And it'll illustrate how important balance, and your core strength is going to be, which you're going to work on this afternoon. How important that is to being able to complete that distance for that day. Muscle strength is key to being able to run efficiently and economically. If you've got strong muscles and you're balanced, you're not using as many of your postural muscles to try to get through a race. If you're constantly going like this, you're using a lot of extra energy and a lot of extra muscles, and you don't want to be doing that. You want to be strong in your core and your lower legs, but you also want to be able to have a good stride that's very, very efficient. So I'm going to run probably on the most torturous part of this whole thing here, and show you a little bit of my running stride and how I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to say anything while I'm running. I'm going to just show you. Now, I bet everybody expected this long bounding stride, right? Because I ran the Olympics and, I'm real smooth. Did you notice how when the trail got a little rougher and a little more soft, how I shortened my stride? Okay, I did the opposite of what most people would think you want to do. I got to get over this stuff. You don't. You want to shorten it a little bit. Okay, get the RPMs up. I'll do it again. Actually, what I'll do is I'll show you what not to do. Okay. All right? You see how out of control that is?
You looked unsteady.
Yeah. I'm creating so much torque going down that I'm out of balance. Right. What you want to do is create a firm, flat motion coming up. Shorten your stride, keep your arms low. Try to think of, taking baby steps sometimes. Baby steps will get you there, okay? They may be short, it may take longer, but they will get you there. And that's what you have to remind yourself about doing, is making yourself, get to the end. We may not have the opportunity to train on this surface or on a soft surface or on a rocky surface every time, but you have to be mentally prepared for the fact that you may go for 15 or 20, 25 miles on a surface like this. You can't get frustrated. And I think that's the main thing. You just don't want to implode mentally. Your body may fail you, but you have to stay on task. That's very, very important in long races, okay? And if you're mentally prepared for the worst case scenario, you've got half the battle over with. Now what we have to do is over the next year get yourselves in good physical shape. One thing I always try to leave people with is that anybody can go out and you can get a training plan out of Runner's World. You can go and get any kind of training plan, and they're all really, really good. The big difference is knowing how much recovery you need in between each workout, because everybody's different. You can train hard all day long, but if you don't allow your body to adapt to that training, all that hard training means nothing. It's adaptation. And I want everybody to remember this. Rest is training. Recovery is training. So, any questions about that? Okay, I'm going to tell you just some quick things that you should always remember in running. Any muscle that is firing is a muscle that is wasting energy if it's not propelling you forward. Okay, so any muscles, when you're clenching your teeth like this, You got lots of really powerful muscles in here and in your neck that work their way down into your shoulders. If you've ever seen a sprinter, you'll see their faces are completely relaxed. If you've watched a slow motion film of sprinters, you'll see their faces completely relaxed because all they're trying to do is devote every piece of energy and muscle movement into forward motion, okay? And that's what you have to concentrate on, unfortunately. The only real muscles that should be working in running, in long distance running, is your legs and your brain, and that's not a muscle. And what I do in a marathon is I take every mile point as a mental and physical checklist. I go by mile 1. I start from my head all the way down to my toes. I go, is my face relaxed? Is my shoulder relaxed? Is my jaw relaxed? And are my arms relaxed? And I just work my way all the way down, okay? Because any muscle that's firing is a muscle that's using energy. If it's not a muscle that's propelling me forward, I don't want it firing, okay? And this is typically what happens when we are getting tired in a race. We start to tighten up our jaws. We start to clench our teeth, and we're using a lot of energy in there. And when you're talking about a race as long as yours, you don't want to use any more energy than you have to, okay? So that's very, very important. The other thing I would say is that when you're running, any kind of rotation like this, back and forth like this, is taking your momentum away from going forward, because you're rotating back and forth. So what I want you to do is pretend that you basically have a rod through your shoulders going this way, okay? And that you're trying to create motion this way. Not pumping your arms out here, but don't let them rotate back and forth like this, okay? One of the ways to do that is to turn your wrists up. If you're going like this, your wrists, it starts this rotation. Take your wrist and turn your elbows in, okay? Try this. Everybody, take your wrists and turn your thumbs to where your thumbs are out. Turn them in like this and start to go like that, okay? And that creates that motion back and forth, okay? So when you're running, even if you have to exaggerate it, thumbs out or thumbs up. But if you start to go like this, and it may not be natural, guys, you may have to kind of work on this one, okay? Thumbs in, elbows in, all right? That's going to create that motion, that inertia that's going to keep you going forward. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Okay, good, good. All right?